I sure hope you enjoy this video, because I'm going to tell you what, this is going on 8 hours I've been working on this thing. Not because I wanted to, because the damn thing kept on crashing on me every time I try get through editing it and go to final stage. It would go into Gumby land. So I want to let you know I work damn hard in these videos. So I hope you appreciate them, and I need some damn help. So go do something about this, will you? Christ, I need to have something for my work, something for my efforts. I'm out here trying to red pill people. I'm on the front lines. You guys are sitting in your couches and watching it. So, you know, pony up. Go to my PayPal and put something in there. Sign up. $5 a month ain't bad. Or go buy something in my shop. Come on. These designs are here to trigger people and to get conversations going. If mega hats will trigger them, my damn designs will put them into a hissy fit. So, you know, do it. Okay? Got a deal? So anyway, this is a red pill of a guy that from Africa. It's sort of like red pilling 101 if you can get through it and it'll finally post. Let's hope it does. Pray for me. And that's what it is. It's a spiritual world on a material plane. So give me the material I need to fight this battle. All right? Here we go, on the street. And what do you do? What do you do up there at home? What do you do up there in
Colorado?
Yeah.
I'm an electrical engineer.
Hey, are you a citizen now, or are you a citizen of the United States?
No, I'm African. Still African.
You're still in Africa?
Yeah,
You're still
I'm just working.
Oh, okay.
Just have a work permit to work.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot has been made, of course, of the immigration, you know, the people coming over and all this stuff. You obviously did it the proper way. You got a skill. You know, I assume you came over here legally, correct?
Yes, I did.
Yes, yeah.
I mean,
you never know these days. What do we need? I had to ask, but I had to assume, because, I mean, you have a skill. It's not like you're, you know, you...
Yeah, I came here as a student back in 2011. I finished high school and I applied for a student visa. And they gave me a visa, so I came and I went to school, finish up. And then I applied for something called F1B. So you're basically allowed to live in America and then work. I applied for that. It's a different type of visa, different from a student visa, and then I got that one, so now I can work and then go home whenever I want and then come back and work. And then kind of like a legal immigrant.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. What are you planning to do? Are you planning on going back to Africa and living, or any time, or are you going to stay here, or what you going to do?
I'll probably go home in 3 years.
3 years?
3 years, yeah. I mean, I guess my skills would be a lot more appreciated over there. It's not a lot of skills.
I would think. I mean, how is it in West Africa? I've never been, of course. That's why I love to ask people that from places I've never been to find out what the hell's going on, you know?
It's like... do you have any perspective about West Africa?
Well, I try to get as much as I can from people I talk to and what I can study and read, you know. But, you know, I mean, that's why I like to ask people from there. You said your skills would be appreciated over there, obviously.
Yeah, by that I mean that there's not a lot of electrical engineers over there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more work to be done over there compared to here.
Yes.
And I might not make as much money as I'm making here.
I understand.
But as an African, I believe I owe that to my people. I owe them that. I owe them to go back there and then contribute, give back to society.
Indeed. Very, very good. Of course, there's a lot that has been made of the immigration from Africa into Europe.
a lot of Africans that are going up there don't have your skills. They're just, they're amazing. And that's what, when you get into it, you start looking at the larger picture of what is the plan here by the people allowing the unskilled people to go into the Western civilizations. What is the purpose of that? I mean, your skill is needed everywhere. You can go anywhere in the world to work.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I mean, it's a good thing to do. But what is the plan to have unskilled workers go into, like, Western countries? What would be the purpose of that? Because it doesn't seem like there's any that would be contributing to anything.
Well, the thing is, okay, I think every human being in this world is born with a skill. As long as you have 2 legs and 2 hands, you're born with a skill. So,
well, you have the ability to, but that doesn't mean you have it. Yeah.
There are a lot of jobs in the West that the citizens of the West will not do.
Well, I just spoke to a couple of people, Mexican Americans, that live in San Diego, which is close to the border.
Yeah.
The woman has been looking for a job for 3 years, can't find it because of the illegal immigrants coming up, driving down the wages to the point where they're taking all the low-skilled jobs. So it's hurting the low-skilled workers of this country. Our citizens are being hurt because illegal immigrants are coming up and lowering the wages and taking those little-skilled jobs. Now, how does that benefit my country?
Well, the scale of those illegal immigrants coming here and taking those low-skilled jobs compared to the amount of available citizens who are willing to do those low-skilled jobs.
But she's been looking for 3 years. She can't find a job because of the illegal immigrants coming up. So how does that benefit the citizens of this country with low skills? How does that benefit them?
They're paying tax, aren't they?
I beg your pardon?
They're paying tax.
Well, one, we don't know that because one, if they're getting paid cash, we don't know. 2, they also eat up our taxes by using our school system, by using our medical system. So indeed, it's a cost negative. As a matter of fact, the calculations done is every illegal immigrant that comes over is costing the taxpayers here $70,000 per illegal immigrant. So how does that? They can't possibly pay that many taxes to go ahead and make up for that shortfall. So again, the citizens here, are being hurt because illegal immigrants are taking the jobs they would be able to get.
Illegal immigrants?
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I am not for illegal immigration. I think every sovereign nation in this world has the right to protect its borders however they can, as long as they're doing it according to international law.
Yes, but that's not being done.
No. Yes, well,
I mean, we don't have, the people I just spoke to from San Diego said there are long stretches of the border don't have anything at all. There's no fence, nothing. People can just walk across. Now, how do we know, one, who's walking across? Do they have, are they terrorists? Do they carry weapons? Are they carrying drugs? Do they have diseases? Well, we don't know. And then when they come over, I mean, what happens to the men? I mean, how do they assimilate if they can't speak a language and they have no skills? And what are we supposed to do with them? Take care of them?
Well, let me ask your opinion. What's your opinion about that?
Like you brought up, come over legally. You're welcome. Come in legally. Here, I'm here to do this. Give me a green card. This is what I can do, what I can't do, whatever. Come in legally. Just like you said, we agree there. Come in legally. We're in total agreement there. But and you said it also. All countries should have borders. They shouldn't allow illegal immigrants just to come in. Because when they do, again, how do you even say you have a nation then if you don't have a border? You know, what does that do? I mean, you might as well just give up. I'd be just letting anybody roaming everywhere. And then what? You have no control over anything.
Okay. I see your point. You do not appreciate the fact that people are willing to cross the border without papers. But to look at it in a broader perspective, these are people, for example, Mexicans. These are people who are indigenous of this land. Okay? We or you came up with this border system. Modern society came up with this border system. But these people were born in this land.
But Indians are fighting each other over borders. When the Indians came over here, they fought for the lands here. So throughout the beginning of time, we've always been territorial. We fight for. You have a home. You have a border and walls. You have a property. You might have a fence around it. That's your property. So don't give me this. Oh, we're all free as birds crap.
I did not say that. What I'm saying is the southern border here with Mexico, right?
Yes.
Mexicans and the South, the Texans who live there. Which of these people are the indigenous of that land when we take away the actual physical border out of perspective? Who are the people that actually, the indigenous of that land, the people who've been there since the beginning of time, the people who've been there before the European conquerors? Who are they?
Yeah, who we conquered. It's it, who we conquered. The whole history of human existence has been conquering. We go places we conquer.
So conquering is right.
It's just the way it is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's the way it is.
Exactly.
So it is. So we've conquered, and for better or worse, I think it happens to be for the better.
Yeah.
I don't think that, when we came in, that we made things worse in some instances, probably. But for the overall, when you look at it, Western civilization is the best civilization we have. We've created the most, prosperity. We brought people out of poverty with our ideas, with our economic system, with our inventions. So, we have made the world better every place we've gone. America is what it is because it has allowed people to prosper. It has allowed people to be what it is. Why? What? Western principles. So, to go around and say, well, hey, you conquered? Yeah, we conquered. We made things better. Where were you? Why did you conquer us? And what do you? If you can make things better, you can conquer us and make things better. Have at it. Try it. So what's your? That's my point. You're trying to make it sound like you're bringing it back in history. I'm bringing it up to today. Today is the point that we do have borders. Yeah, this is the border. We made these borders. Yeah, we fought Maximilian. Yeah, we chased the Indians out over here. We did that and over there. In Africa, didn't you have tribes that fought for territories over there? Or, did you all just allow each other? Because don't tell me, you didn't have tribes that didn't fight one another. I mean, a matter of fact, a lot of the blacks were the ones that went ahead and brought the slaves over here. There were blacks who were going around getting other blacks to sell to the slave traders. So it happens all over the place. We're not the only ones. The slavery has existed in every civilization around the world. It's the history that it is. But bringing it up to today, the way it is today, I'm saying we have these borders and we have laws. We are a land of laws. So when you walk across the border, illegally you broke the law. You are already illegal. So,
well, in that perspective, then, would you agree with me that your ancestors walked into this land illegally?
No, Because there was no law that the Indians had at that time?
You do not know. Well, there was a law, because if there was no law, they would not try to fight your ancestors.
They didn't at the beginning. It was like, hey, you know, what would happen?
Yeah,
what happened to the...
Because they thought you guys were friendly. But then you guys started using guns, killing them. They're like, oops, they're invading our land. And they were fighting back.
And there are tribes right now still in the Pacific. There's an island over there that you can't, where that tribe kills anybody that comes on that land.
Well, because their natural instinct has finally kicked in now. They're like, you know what, screw it.
Well, you just said the natural instinct. You just agreed with me. That is the natural instinct of man to go ahead and protect their territory.
Every mammal does that.
Well, here we go. We agree with that.
But what I'm saying is you...
Again, but you're bringing it back. You see, you're bringing up that history. We're going back, 250, 300 years, 400 years. I'm bringing it up to today, where we have progressed, have indeed, hopefully, evolved in our understanding and civilization of things, where we have, a constitution, where we have laws that are set up and courts that are set up to go ahead and regulate our activities so we can live together under the law that has been set up, where we can live peacefully with one another. When you break the law, civilization breaks down. So if you're coming over illegally and you just keep on coming over illegally, you're breaking the civilization, you're breaking the code. You don't have anything then to go ahead and to grab onto. It just falls apart.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
Thank you.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not disagreeing with civilization.
Yeah.
I totally agree with civilization. What I'm saying is the people of Mexico that start crossing the southern border, coming into the United States, they are not doing it because they are perceiving it as breaking the law. They're just migrating. They just. I
don't care what the hell they are perceiving it as. They're breaking the law. I don't give a shit if they're perceiving it as just migrating. I'm just coming over here migrating. No, I don't give a shit what you think you're coming over here doing. You're breaking the law.
You're breaking the law?
Yes. I don't give a damn what they think. They're breaking the law. The law is you come over here without going through the proper channels, you are an illegal immigrant. You broke the law. If we just, I'm migrating. I'm just over here migrating. Don't worry about it. Pay no attention to me. I'm migrating. What the hell? So, well, come on in. Well, here, use our medical system. Use our educational system. Come on here, rape my daughter for crying out loud. What do I care? You're a migrant. There's got to be some handle on it. You've got to have it. Say, wait a second, you can't come over here like that. You've got to go through the proper channels. So we know who you are. So we know what you're doing here.
True. I'm not disagreeing with any of that.
What's this migrant bullshit?
Because they're migrating. That's what they...
Well, let them migrate the proper way.
Migrate due to... Maybe those people are being chased out of there for
well, let them be chased through the proper channels. I don't give a shit.
Well, they don't have the choice. They don't have the choice to come to the proper
Well, then stay where they are and let them fight their own battles and make their own country better. What are they going to come over here and suck off my taxes for?
But most people who are migrating aren't capable of staying there and fighting. They're women and children.
Oh, no, the ones that are coming over here are not exactly all women and children. When you look at the pictures of the ones that are coming up in these caravans, you're looking at 85% of them are, military-age men. So don't give me that they're all women and children bullshit. My eyes ain't lying to me. When I see them waving their flags and burning ours, and then being asked to, demanded to come in here, why in the hell should we allow people into this country that are burning our flag and waving theirs?
They're burning your flag?
You want to see the pictures?
And waving yours?
Yeah, you want to see the pictures?
Where are the pictures?
Oh, get on the internet. You can see them. They're up there waving the Salvadoran flag, waving the Mexican flag, waving Guatemala flag, and burning the American flag.
Well, if anyone burns the American flag, I think you're not being disrespectful. I will not support anyone that does
Well,
that.
that's what they're doing. Coming up in these caravans, they're waving their flags and burning ours. And then you got things like La Raza. You familiar with La Raza?
No.
Oh, yeah. La Raza is the race. Nothing racist there, huh? The race. And La Raza, their whole theater or principle is to go ahead and take back the territories that we conquered. In other words, they want all of Texas and California, all of the West back. They're going to take it back. And as far as I can say, they probably already took back California. So, you know, their idea is to come back here and reconquer the lands that we took from them. That's La Raza. Those are the people that are funneling the people up here.
Thing.
Oh, yeah.
From where? Where are they coming from?
Mexico.
They're coming from Mexico.
Oh, yeah. Look, the La Raza's big. Huge. Matter of fact, you even have some of our politicians that support it. Yeah. The race. Oh, and what's their slogan? This is their slogan. You ready for this?
What is it?
Everything for the race and nothing for them.
Everything for the race and nothing for them.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's sort of like, you know, the same thing with the Islamics who go, you know, yeah, if you're not a Muslim.
That's the thing. If you're not a Muslim.
Oh, it isn't. Excuse me, but aren't Christians being persecuted in every Islamic nation right now? I mean, I can show you the videos of their throats getting cut. You know, yeah, matter of fact, Christians are getting persecuted dramatically. I mean, great. We just, matter of fact, that whole thing with the Covington, you know, kidding these poor Catholic kids up there, you know, and got approached by the Indian and were vilified. Here's the Indian banging the drum, you know, boom, boom, boom in the Catholic kid's face, and all of a sudden the Catholic kids are the ones that are vilified? How's that work out? How come these kids are being vilified?
What country is that?
Here.
In America here.
Oh, that was all over the news past week. I'm sorry you missed that one. Well, yeah, but no, man. I'm sorry. I mean, you can't. I mean, the Islam can come here and practice their religion, but show me how many Christians can go to Saudi Arabia and practice Christianity. Doesn't happen, does it?
I've never been to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't find. You're not going to find Christians that can go to a Muslim country and practice Christianity. It ain't happening now. They ain't allowing it.
Really?
Really?
Well.
And then you've got no-go zones. You know, the Muslims come up here, or even in England right now, and they have no-go zones where, you know, they're practicing Sharia law in areas. I mean, matter of fact, here we had just had a Muslim that was elected to our Congress, Sharia, and the Sharia law states that the Sharia law is above our Constitution, which is against everything that we have. I mean, our Constitution is supreme above the land.
You said the Sharia law is above the Constitution.
That's what Sharia law produces. Anywhere it goes, they preach that. Anywhere that goes, Sharia law is the ultimate.
To them.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Above the Constitution.
Their law. Are you saying within the United States?
Yes, within the United States.
Well, within the United States, the Constitution of the United States, I guess that's what should be upheld. But if
You would think.
if they're upholding their own Sharia law somewhere else that they're allowed to, then that's their own problem.
Definitely a problem. I'll agree with you there.
Not in that perspective.
I don't know. As I said, if they're cutting off Christians' heads because they practice Christianity in a Muslim country, it sounds like it'd be a problem, especially for the Christian.
What did that say? Why would Putin?
Yeah, you know, the big thing right here is, of course, you know, the Democrats say that, you know, Trump got in because, you know, Russia helped him get in. Well, my question is, if Russia helped Trump get in, why would they do it to make the military, our military and economy, a lot stronger? Does it make any sense to you?
Well, it depends.
Depends. How does that depend? How does it even make sense? Why would Russia put Trump in office to make our military and economy stronger?
Why would
Putin help Trump getting office? If Trump was going to make our military stronger and our economy stronger, why would Putin do that?
Maybe because they're friends.
So Putin would be a traitor against his country then?
Wait, are United States and Russia enemies?
Well, according to a lot of people. Matter of fact, the conversation I just had with a Democrat, yeah, he was absolutely positive that Russia is our enemy.
Russia's an enemy of the United States.
Yeah, we're certainly adversaries. I wouldn't say an enemy. I certainly would say adversary. I would not like to see us adversaries. I think we have a lot in common. I think we could, you know, we have a lot to you know, learn and gain from one another.
That's what I would think too.
So am I. We're in agreement on another thing.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
Oh, I certainly do. It's on the back of this get out of jail free card from Hillary Clinton.
Oh Lord. So what's your agenda? What's your agenda?
Having conversations. Go ahead and try to find out what's going on, see if we can come to common ground about some things, discuss the things we don't agree on, maybe find out how we can come to agreement.
But what's your personal opinion?
On what?
On the conversation we just had. The United States being conquerors, not letting Mexicans in, wanting Mexicans to go through a proper channel that...
Well, I think I expressed that, you know, we're a sovereign nation and follow our laws. That's all we ask. I mean, again, America allows more immigrants in than all the rest of the world combined. We're the most generous nation in the world. That's why you came here to go, because, you know, we are the most prosperous. We are the best. So, you know, people come here for a reason. And we welcome you as long as you follow our laws. We're happy to have you. Thank you for your skills. We appreciate it. We, again, just follow our laws.
That's reasonable.
I would think so. But if you're just coming over here to suck off our welfare system and take advantage of our generosity, you get a problem with that.
Have you served in the military?
No.
No? What's your background?
Irrelevant.
Irrelevant?
Yeah. It's a long one, that's all it is. Yeah. Myriad and long.
Well, it might be relevant to you, but it's relevant to me to know. It will satisfy my curiosity. How about that?
I've just lived a lot of places and done a lot of things.
Okay.
And this is my work.
So, these, I don't know if I'll call it a slur, but for instance, grab life by the pussy.
Mm-hmm.
You got that from what Trump said, right?
Yeah.
The Trump phrase. How do you feel? So, I'm assuming you were Republican, right?
No, you can assume I'm pissed.
You're pissed. But what do you vote?
Well, I vote for our country.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
You voted for Trump?
Yes.
Okay. So, how do you think about Trump's style of politics?
Good and bad.
Good and bad?
Yeah.
What's the bad part?
I don't think he's going after the deep state as much as he should.
The deep state?
Yeah, the deep state.
What do you mean?
The deep state are the people that really run things. In other words, for a long time, it's always been the bureaucrats, the agencies, the people that never leave that really run things. I mean, for the most part, our politicians are just figureheads. And, they're being paid by corporations mainly, that dictate things, and the shadow government, the agencies that run things, CIA, FBI. It's called the deep state. These people are the ones that more or less, run things behind the scenes. And if you want to get deeper into it, it gets into the shadow government, which Kennedy talked about 2 weeks before they blew his head off. He exposed the shadow government. He says there is a shadow government bigger than all other governments. It is bigger than, they have their own armies, they have their own way of doing things, they never get exposed, they control the networks and the media, so, they're very secretive. So the deep state is above anything else. And they're the ones that need to be exposed. That's why they go after Trump so much, because he wasn't supposed to be in there. Remember, he came out of nowhere. It was supposed to be Bush against Clinton. And those two are deep state. So nothing would have changed. But the people here in this country having enough freedom to realize that, the deep state has been running things for decades, so the hell with it. We don't want things the way they've been. We want someone from the outside to come in and shake things up. Well, he came in, he's shaking things up.
What did he shake?
Well, he's not part of the deep state. So he is exposing the deep state for who they are. So they're trying to get rid of him. That's why they trump up charges on him. Russia, Russia, Russia. There was no Russian collusion. It's all bullshit. I mean, if there was Russian collusion, it happened with Clinton. She's the one that sold 20% of our uranium to Russia. She's the one that gained $145 million that Russia gave to her. They didn't give it to him. So, that there's a shadow government, there's a deep state that really runs things.
How big is that big state? Is it just United States? Is it limited to United States, or does it go?
Oh, no, it's all over the world. Mostly with the NATO nations, but it's all over the world. The deep state, if you want to get, if you want to go to the head of it, it'd be the banks, the big banks. The central banks, the banks of London, the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the Schieffs. Our Federal Reserve isn't even federal. We really don't know who owns it. So, but they control our economy. Yet they control the economies of most of the countries in the world. The World Bank, the World Trade Organization, the Bank of International Settlements, which is the big one. These are the ones that people have to go to get the money to survive. They're the ones that will loan money to countries, and then charge exorbitant interest and then come in and take all the resources. These are the robber barons. These are the ones that truly run things. So, that's why our nation started to begin with, is to get rid of these elites. We want to control. The people, ourselves, the individuals want to control.
So what are you saying? If it's something that is true, it would be really interesting to look into. But how credible is what you're saying right now? Are you able to base it on an actual data?
Oh, yeah. But I don't know. I don't know how many thousands of books are written by it. You can, I mean, I start out with the monster from Jekyll Island, the Illuminati, the Bilderberg Group. I mean, yeah, it goes on and on. There's plenty of information and resource on this. Thousands of. I mean, they just had the G20 meet. I mean, Bohemia Grove.
But this, what you're saying right now, is an outside opinion of people who aren't part of these organizations you're listing. Do you have data that's actually from?
Sure, absolutely.
Within?
Yes. You want me to say? Yeah, I just named it off. You can name. You could. I'd say you can.
So you're saying these authors of these books are part of these organizations?
No, as a matter of fact, the Bible of it is called Tragedy and Hope by Professor Quigley, who was Clinton's mentor in school. And he wrote a book. He spent 2.5 years in the library of the Illuminati. And he wrote a book called Tragedy and Hope, which is a 1,500-page Bible on how the elites of this world plan to take over this world and form a one-world government. They spell it out. You can read the entire thing. At the beginning, they only printed 10,000 of these books. We were not supposed to read it. But it got out. And other people published it. Now you can read it. You can read books like called None Dare Call It Conspiracy by Gary Allen, which I read in 1972, which is a book about this thick, that is sort of like a short version of Tragedy and Hope, that names the secret organizations, names the people who belong to them, how they coordinate, and how they go ahead and form secret governments behind our governments that truly run things. So it is these secret organizations behind our supposed governments that truly run things. And that's what Trump is exposing. That's why they're trying to get rid of him.
I've never seen Trump say anything like that before. So
listen to him.
So if this secret organization you're talking about, if it's something true, then you're insinuating that they are far left, they are more Democrats.
I wouldn't even call that. I would call them complete authoritarians. They are elitist authoritarians. In other words, they want what every tyrant has ever wanted from the beginning of time: world domination. They want to take over the world. They want a one-world government, and they want to, have a subclass and them as the elites. I'll give you some information on something called Agenda 21 that's now Agenda 2030, which is a UN agenda. The UN is basically set up by the Illuminati. That's part of this one world government. That the UN is set up to be the world government. So Agenda 2030 has been put in place, and their entire proposal is to go ahead and, to eliminate the world population and bring it down to 500 million. But to do that, they need to go to subjugate us. They need to go ahead and have us walk into the concentration camps ourselves. How they do this, one of the biggest things they're doing right now is by doing it through this global warming bullshit. In other words, if you control how people can use the energy, you can control the people. So what they do is they try to make, carbon dioxide is the enemy. Ooh, CO2, big enemy, right? Well, which is bullshit. Carbon dioxide is a natural gas. It's essential to life. We breathe it out, plants breathe it in. They breathe out oxygen, we breathe in oxygen. It's a reciprocal gas. But the elites say, there's too much CO2 in the air. It's a pollutant. It's not a pollutant. So, but if they can convince us that we're producing too much of it, Then they can say, oh, we got to control what you drive. We got to control how much energy you use in your house. We got to put you in a little box and control you.
Oh, wait. And how is that relevant to the agenda of reducing the population?
Well, that's it. If you can control the people and what they use, you can control them. There's a thing called the Georgia Guidestones. 1974, a man walked into Elbington, Georgia granite factory, and he says, I represent the most powerful people in the world. Boom, here's the money. You're going to build a monolith. On this monolith, it's going to have the 10 edicts for the future of mankind. It's still there. You can go and look this up. It's called the Georgia Guidestones. And the number one directive in 8 different languages on these 4 slabs states this: maintain the world's population to no more than 500 million in accordance with nature. So they want to do is bring down just one by telling us, oh, you can't be riding around in these cars. We got to put you in a city, in a little box, so we can control what you do. The nature's got to be nature. We got to bring everything back to nature. So, they let everything back to nature, put us in a city-state. So we can't travel around anymore because we're producing too much carbon. Ooh, bad. Bullshit. So they can control us. You put people in a city, you control them. So then they can control the food by going ahead, because they're already controlling that. And by weather weapons. We've been controlling the weather for a long time. I mean, look up geoengineering. So, China just bragged about how they can make it rain over a size 6 times the size of France if they wanted to. They made it snow for the Olympics and bragged about it. So they can control the weather. But you won't hear about this in any of the global warming conferences, will you? No. It's all about reducing our carbon credits. Oh, we got a carbon footprint. We got to reduce that. So they control us. They limit our ability to be free.
Okay, again, I get what you said. There are a lot of engineering advancements that China have done, and the United States and most other parts of the West. But how does this contribute to the agenda of bringing the world population down?
Yeah, they want us dead.
How are they doing it?
Well, one, as a matter of fact, I just talked to a guy about an hour ago that's in aerospace, and we were talking about the whole space program and the space grid, what China's doing and how this is going to come into play. He says the weapons of the future will be bioweapons, bio-Pacific weapons. So they will unleash a virus to go ahead and eliminate the population. They can also do it through starvation very easily. They're already doing that. So they need to go ahead, or want to go ahead and reduce the world's population so they can control us. They have too much of us running around being free. They can't be in control. And they're being exposed because of the internet. More and more people know about the deep state because of the internet. More and more people know about the Illuminati, the Bilderberg Group. The Bilderberg Group meets once a year for 4 to 6 days in a NATO nation every 4 years in North America. The top 120 elites of the Western world, where no media is allowed in. Oh, the people that own the media allowed in, but they don't report about what's going on in there. And in there, the elites dictate about, what country is going to war, who's going to be a president, who gets to live and who gets to die. These are the real leaders of the world.
So how is this organization beneficial to the world, if there's any benefits?
They don't give a shit about the world. They don't give a shit about you, and they don't give a shit about me. They give a shit about themselves. They're psychopaths. They're sociopaths. They don't give a damn about us, and they want us dead. That is the entire agenda, to kill us. They don't need us anymore. And why don't they need us anymore? Because the only reason they needed us up to this point is because they needed slave labor. That's the only reason they kept us around.
So now what do they have to replace that labor?
Robotics and AI technology. So AI technology and robotics are taking over all the jobs. Driverless cars, robots in warehouses, robotic armies. So robotics and AI technology are taking over most of the jobs. I spoke to a Harvard economics professor out here one day, and I asked him, what is AI robotic technology going to do to the people walking these streets in the next 10 years? And this is what he answered me. He says 50% of them will be out of work in 10 years. And I go, and what are we going to do with those 50% people that don't have anything to do? He looked at me straight in the eye and said this: in the past, we've killed you. Now, do you think the elites, who only kept us around for slave labor, are going to be kind to us when they put us out of work? What do you think they're going to do? Put us in a room and have us play video games and give us a sip-it to live on? Bullshit. They didn't do it when they brought the Africans over here as slaves and had them at the plantations and whipped them to death. They didn't do it then. I doubt seriously they'll do it today. They're going to kill us. They don't need us anymore. And that is the end game, pal. They don't need us anymore.
Well, but if they kill us, then who inhabits the planet then?
They do.
So a couple of thousand people?
What did I tell you? The Georgia Guidestones said you limit the world's population to 500 million. They keep about 400 million of us around for their slave bullshit or for their play, whatever the hell they want to do. About 100 million, or about 90 million of them would be, their soldiers or their whipping guys that whip us. But the rest of it will be drones and robotic police. They don't need us. What the hell they care if we live or die? They don't give a shit. They never cared about us. Ever.
So who are these people?
They are the elites of the world. What did I just say? The Oppenheimers, the Rothschilds, the Chiefs, this uber elites, the ones that have controlled the natural resources since the beginning of time.
So how is Trump exposing these people?
Yeah.
Who has he exposed yet so far?
Well, he's exposing the deep state, which is their groundwork. Okay, so you take away the deep state, you expose these people. So you take away their soldiers.
So are these people actual visible individuals that we come across in our daily lives?
Yes, we know their names. We know where they live. We know who they are.
Okay, who are they?
I just told you. Rothschilds, Oppenheimers, Chiefs. We can go on the 13 original bloodlines that came out of Africa or Egypt. You can look them up. There's a book called the Bloodlines of the Illuminati. Read that one. And it traces the bloodlines that came out of Egypt, the black nobility that spread out through Europe, and how these people grabbed control, the most ruthless psychopaths that have ever lived, grabbed control of what are the resources that people need to live? Grab control of those resources, and from there have been ruling with an iron fist ever since.
So are they part of a certain race, or they're divided?
No, it doesn't make any difference in the race. It's your psychopath. If you're a psychopath, if you're of that like mind. So their race doesn't make any difference. As long as you are a criminal psychopath, you are with them.
Yikes.
Yikes is right. I beg you to look this stuff up.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, look it up. Look it up. It gets deep and it gets really weird and scary.
So, you personally, why? What are you doing this for? What are you hoping to achieve in your agenda?
I'd like to see them defeated. I don't want them to succeed. I don't want you dead. I don't want to see the innocent, beautiful people of this world dead because of a handful of psychopaths decided they don't need us anymore. I think we got to go further. I think we are the ones that add life to this planet. I think we are the ones that should survive, not a bunch of criminal psychopaths. I think we're the ones that should prosper. We're the true light of God, not them.
God.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Do you like Obama?
No.
Why?
Because he's made out of the cloth of the CIA. He's a phony. He's completely phony. He was born out of the CIA. His father-in-law is a CIA agent, and the man's a phony. His real father's Frank Marshall Davis. Barack Obama wasn't even his real father.
His father is not from Africa.
His father was Frank Marshall Davis.
Who's that guy?
He was one of the top communists in the country around that time.
Communist?
Yes.
I thought the United States got rid of communists a while ago.
No. We have communists deep in our government right now. Good many of them. Good many of them. Probably 80% of the damn bureaucrats are socialists and communists. Admittedly, you can see the underground tapes of it. See them saying, yeah, I'm a democratic socialist.
Socialism and communism are different.
Bullshit. Lenin himself says socialism is just a stepping stone to communism.
So you don't believe in socialism?
Hell no.
So you don't believe in social programs and stuff?
Social programs and socialism are two different things, okay? Especially, I mean, if you want socialism, let's look at what Venezuela, how good Venezuela is doing right now. But that's the end game of socialism. Socialism works good at the beginning when you're dealing with other people's money. When that money runs out, it collapses. Capitalism has brought more people out of poverty than any other system ever invented.
So what's the next step after capitalism? Is there anything better than capitalism?
I don't know. Well, a well-regulated capitalism. Remember, what we have right now is basically a crony capitalism, which is essentially the same thing as any other corrupt system. Where the select few get the, like socialism basically is you're selecting who makes the money and who doesn't. That's the same thing as crony capitalism. But a well-regulated capitalist system, in other words, one that, again, obeys the laws, is the best thing you can have that we've invented so far. No, maybe there's a better system. We haven't invented it yet. I mean, capitalism itself is, there might be a few. There's no perfect system that I can see. But the one that we have that's best so far has been a well-regulated capitalistic system.
Aren't your founding fathers part of this deep state thing?
Oh, no. I mean, there are arguments to say it, yeah, they were, but again, you'd have to go and some of them were, you understand that not every one of them were on board with the system. Like, you don't get every one of them now that are on board with the system. Give you, for instance, there's a documentary to watch called Thrive, Thrive. Procter & Gamble, which you might be familiar with. They're one of the biggest conglomerates in the world. Procter & Gamble, Foster Gamble, heir to the vast fortune, groomed to be one of the top 0.00001 percenters. He had an epiphany, and he goes, "Oh crap! I can't do this. I'm surrounded by insane people. They're criminally insane." So he broke from the agenda. made this documentary called Thrive, exposing what the elites are doing. It's a great documentary. I highly recommend you watch it. And he shows how a handful, a small group of uber elites, control everything through blackmail, coercion, murder, control of the media, control of the politicians, owning the corporations, and he shows how it works. Very simply. But what I really like about this documentary, he just doesn't show how it works. He shows how we can get our power back, how we can go ahead and reverse this situation. So I highly recommend you can watch it on YouTube. It's called Thrive. You remember that, right? THRIVE. That'll give you a good 0 to 60 in 2.2 seconds. Big picture view of things.
Okay, so money. How you say you, based on the knowledge you've just expressed to me right now, do you understand how the international monetary system works? Are you able to get your share of the money?
Of what they allow us to have. Understand, we're under a fiat system here that is completely phony.
So how about these billionaires? There's Mark Zuckerberg, there's Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all these guys.
Oh yeah, well they are part of the globalist system. They are part of the elites that want us dead. They're the ones that are going ahead and pushing the globalist system to kill us.
Yeah, but these people were nothing.
They were deep. They were deep into it from the beginning. When you look at the history of Bill Gates and his family, they were in it from the very. Bill Gates' family was CIA. They were all into it. They were all. When you look at the history of these people, they didn't come from nothing at all. Bullshit. You don't get to that level without help, and they got a lot of help. No, you got to start looking at the history of these people, the real history of these people, not the phony history that they present. The real history of it.
Okay. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Thank you very much for listening.